Look at Proverbs 9, verse 10, because it declares the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is insight. And Proverbs 14:27 adds this, the fear of Yahweh is the fountain of life, that one may turn away from the snares of death. And so in our day, when plans, ministries, or quote, moves of God encounter setbacks, we must resist this wanting to blame Yahweh or circumstances. Instead, just like David, we should ask, have we strayed from the ancient path of the Father's instructions, his Torah? Have we consulted the full counsel of Scripture, or have we built new carts of convenience, tradition, or cultural appeal to the masses and to become like the pop culture around us? And so when attempts to seek Yahweh's presence face challenges, when our new carts, if you will, hit this bump in the road, these moments can prompt careful consideration and renewed commitment. Such setbacks should serve as reminders to return to obedience. James 4:10 encourages us, humble yourselves before Yahweh, and he will lift you up. And 2 Chronicles 7:14 reminds us that when Yahweh's people will humble themselves, pray, seek his face, turn from their wicked ways, if you will, he hears from heaven, forgives, and he brings healing and restoration. And David didn't abandon the ark. Instead, he adopted an appropriate approach. In other words, he aligned his methods with the scriptural instruction given by Yahweh. And in the same manner, it's advisable for you and I to review our methods, reflect on instances where we may have deviated or strayed from clear scriptural guidance and instruction, and ensure alignment with Yahweh's established instructions for managing sacred matters in our life and in our practice and in our assemblies. And when we do, we walk in the Father's righteous ways and we receive his blessings. And so this brings us to another point that we want to look at, and that is the blessings on the house of Obed-Edom. And so let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 11 here, where the text says, the ark of Yahweh remained in his house 3 months, and Yahweh blessed Obed-Edom and his whole family. And so the ark, it remained in the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite, for about 3 months. And we see a marked difference here between the ark being in the home of Obed-Edom and what took place at Perez-Uzzah when David and them were trying to move the ark. And so while David's procession ended in fear and it stopped his progress, a simple household experienced overflowing blessing simply because the ark, the symbol of Yahweh's covenant and presence, was there. And so the blessing was so evident and so remarkable that word reached the king. Look at 2 Samuel 6, verse 12. It was reported to King David, Yahweh has blessed Obed-Edom's family and all that belongs to him because of the ark of Elohim. And so the text is clear that the blessing of the housing of the ark with honor and reverence touched the entire household and all of his possessions. But who was Obed-Edom? Well, the scriptures calls him a Gittite, likely from Gath, which would have been a Philistine city, suggesting that he may have even been a Gentile or a foreigner in David's service. Yet he willingly received the ark into his home when even the king was afraid to take it any further. And so unlike Uzzah, who had grown familiar with the ark over years, in Abinadab's house and treated it casually, Obed-Edom approached it with proper reverence and honor. He didn't innovate or presume.